Okay, here is your second lesson on the Sopko box it method. Remember that we are going to box in the side of the equation. So let me get a box going here. And let's see. Okay, I should be using a rectangle, silly me. Let me get rid of that and go to a rectangle. That'll be a lot easier to use. So I box the left-hand side of the equation, right? And then I cover up my variable with its sign. Okay, cover up the variable. Now I want to get rid of that 7. I ask myself, what kind of 7 is it? Well, it's a positive 7. So I'm going to need to subtract 7 from both sides. And when I do that, I end up with, move that out of my way, 2x equal to 14. Now I put my box around that. Okay, and I have to get that x alone. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. But if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. And so I will end up with the equation, or the answer of x equals 7. If I check my work, I can do 7 plus 2 times 7. Well, 2 times 7 is 14, plus 7 is 21. My answer checks. All right, let's try that with this problem over here. Problem number 2 is 5 minus 3x. Now, I picked these specific problems on purpose because of an assessment where I saw you had difficulty with this type of problem. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to cover up the variable. And notice that the 5 is positive. It's just like the last problem. So I am going to subtract 5 from each side. And when I subtract 5 from each side, I end up with a negative 3x equaling 30. Okay, if you don't know where that came from, remember there's the negative 3x. Okay, and now I box this guy. Oops, make him a little bit bigger. There we go. I need to divide by 3. Divide by 3. And then x is going to equal, oops, I've made a small mistake. I shouldn't be dividing by 3. I should be dividing by negative 3. And so x is going to equal negative 10. If I check it, 5 minus 3 times negative 10, well, that's the same as 5 minus negative 30. And minus a negative is the same as plus a positive, and therefore equals 35, and it checks. So I'm 2 for 2 so far. All right, let me come down here. Again, I'll put my rectangle around this part of the problem. I'm going to cover up my variable with its sign. I have a negative 15, and so now I'm going to add 15 to both sides. All right, and when I do that, the right-hand side is going to get me 40. The left-hand side is going to get me a negative 8x. I box it, and I see a negative 8 next to the x. It's attached by multiplication, so I'll divide by negative 8. And doing so will get me x equal to negative 5. If I do negative 15 minus 8 times negative 5, well, that's the same as negative 15 plus 40, and that's positive 25, and so it checks. All right, one last example for you. Now, I box it. I cover up the variable with its sign. I see a positive 10, and so therefore I subtract 10. If you need to, you can certainly put a plus there, okay? When I do that, the 10s will cancel, leaving me with a negative 3x equal to 90. Well then, I box it. Hold on, I don't have my box. Oh, grab the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I box it, and then I know I have to divide by -3. Okay, on both sides, x is going to equal -30. I go to check 10 minus 3 times -30. That's the same as 10 minus -90. The minus a negative becomes plus a positive, and that becomes 100. And so it checks. All right, so I picked these problems specifically for something that you were doing wrong on your paper. Hopefully after watching this, you can practice a little bit on Thursday, and then we can move you ahead. All right, that's it for this lesson. It's only a 6-minute lesson. Good luck.